We had a massive landslide. We ended up in the Iraq War with barely any
Indeed.
opposition.
But let's talk about neurodiversity.
Yes.
I think I have a ADHD as well, but never went diagnosed, and I'm functioning in society just fine. I'm a business owner. I'm doing very well. But what I fear for all our youth and our new generation, that they seem to use this depression card and mental illness card as a get out of jail card, as if, you know what I mean, like as soon as I've never heard my daughter, for example, one of them's coming to 16, one to 14. I've never heard them being upset. They're always depressed. And it's just like, it's like, I'm coming from Ukraine. I am Ukrainian originally. I'm from a very, very poor family in Ukraine. We've had nothing. We never even had a house when we were growing up. We lived in like a little trailer. And my dad got into bad accident. He fell on the train. His leg got cut off. He went into serious alcohol abuse, and he became really violent. So we were like sleeping on the street and stuff because my dad was smashed the apartment. It was really, really bad. But I found it as a strength to just saying, okay, what doesn't kill me makes me better. And I sort of worked, and I left the country, and I worked, and now I'm a successful person, and I definitely have ADHD, and I employ 150 people.
Wow.
And I live and I work, yet I look at loads of young people who at the first opportunity goes, oh, but I'm depressed.
Do you know what I think you're pointing out there? Because I do think it is important that we point out where neurodiversity and these things exist. But I think that the one thing we're not doing in society enough, and this is a really good counter to what we've been discussing, we don't teach young people resilience enough.
Exactly.
I don't think we teach young people coping mechanisms enough. We don't teach young people that. And I think a big part of this conversation is things like hearing opinions you don't like, of having to do things you don't like, of, needing to...
But even deal with things that happens to you and find it as a strength. Like, for example, like my dad was awful, and yet I found it as, okay, no man would ever beat me. Nobody would ever treat me like
adversity
my
breeds
my mum.
strength.
And I just took it to make it my strength.
Yeah.
Rather than I have friends that I'm aware of who just went, oh, my dad is not very nice, I'm going to take substance abuse. They're dead now because, it's how you can...
I agree, and I think
my strength, or I'm going to be sad about it and all say, "Oh, poor old me."
Yeah.
Isn't it sad that it happened to me?
All right, no, I get it. Listen, Valentina, I get it, and I think that what we don't do is teach. We try and shield young people nowadays from any kind of adversity, and you sort of understand the good intentions behind that, but actually, a little bit of adversity, you will always have the mickey taken out of you at school about something. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bullying. Bullying is awful. Bullying happens, but that doesn't make everything bullying. Sometimes you'll fall over and hurt yourself, and you have to get yourself back up and get back onto the bicycle, otherwise you never will again. Sometimes you have to hear opinions that you don't like. And you know what? That's not nice, but you have to hear them, and you have to process them, and you have to come up with counter-arguments about them. There's all sorts of things. Sometimes you have to look before you cross the road. We are trying to shield young people from every single aspect of that. And actually, I'm not sure sometimes we're doing young people a big favour by doing that, because actually some of that adversity is the very thing that makes you resilient, so that when really bad things do happen when you're older, when you really do find yourself depressed, when you do lose a partner, when you do get upset, you actually have some sort of coping mechanism because you've had to cope with stuff before. I think that with good intentions, I wonder if we're failing younger people that way. All right, we will get through some more of your calls. Coming up, we're going to speak to Mike Neville over the calf that was rammed. You've been calling in